Hey yo, I got something to say. Welcome back to the channel. If this information helps you out, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Guys, the subscribe is the red button. Touch on that, click on that. Let's get to this big 200. I'm super excited. So thank you so much for all your support. After 200, I am going to be doing a giveaway. I'm going to be doing like little giveaways here and there. I'm not too sure what it's going to be, but I am going to be doing something to thank my supporters out there. Let me know in the comment section if you like these ETFs or what ETFs you recommend. I just want to give a quick shout out to my brother. He gave me the idea for this video. He said you should do a video on ETFs, and I was like, yeah, that's actually a pretty good idea. So let's I'm doing it right now. As always, I put the disclaimer out there. Everything I put on this channel is going to be 100% real. Like, these are things that I'm doing in my own personal life. Like, I'm never going to give you information that I read on Bloomberg or articles or this or that. Like, nah, these everything on this channel is 100% things that I've reviewed, that I'm doing. So let's get into it. Now, the first one is called TGIF, right? Like, thank God it's Friday. I actually stumbled upon this one from a guy called Chamath Vilahapta. Pretty sure I'm not saying his last name right, so my bad. But Chamath is a pretty cool dude. He's a billionaire, and I follow these people. And he really recommends SoFi, SOFI. I started doing research into the company SoFi. Turns out they offer ETFs, and one of the ETFs is TGIF. Market cap or assets under management of like 20 million, so liquidity really isn't going to be there. If you're like a big time investor, if you're putting millions in there, liquidity really is not going to be there. So I keep this as a very small position, and it has an expense ratio of 0.65. I'm really not a fan of the expense ratio. I like to keep expense ratios under 0.35. So you might be wondering, like, okay, it has market cap of 22 million, has expense ratio of 0.65. Why are you recommending it? This is the first ETF to provide weekly dividends. Yes, you heard right. Not quarterly, not monthly, but weekly. And I just like to keep this as a small position. I might own 5. I think I'm at 10 shares now, between 7 or 10 shares. And you just get that weekly dividend every single week, 5 cents for each one. If you have 5 of them, you're going to get a quarter every single Friday without doing nothing. Like, you could be at home watching TV, you're just going to always get that dividend. And I think it's amazing. But again, I keep it as a small position until that market cap increases, hopefully. The second one I recommend is SPHD. This is a high dividend, low volatility ETF, and it has an expense ratio of 0.35. Amazing, you know I love that. Has assets under management / market cap of like $3 billion. Liquidity is not going to be an issue. It invests in companies like, I'll tell you right now, it invests in companies like Iron Mountain, Altria, AT&T, Kinder Morgan, Philip Morris, Chevron, Edison International, Prudential Financial, and it invested about like 50 to 100 companies that have a history of being low volatile and yet have a high dividend. Because when you're investing and you're building your portfolio, you want to make sure that your dividends increase. And this one, the dividends have increased on a yearly basis since the inception, so you definitely can't be mad at that. And as an added bonus, it pays on a monthly basis. I love that. You know, I got no complaints. Now, the third one we're going to talk about is one called JEPI or JEPI, JEPI, Joseph Edward Peter Israel. This is JP Morgan Exchange Premium Income. Has a market cap of 3 billion, of around 3 billion, going a couple hundred million up or down, and it pays a dividend of 8.99. It pays a pretty high dividend on a monthly basis. Of course, the 8.99 is APY. It's going to be divided by 12, but you're going to get a monthly dividend. The cool thing about this one, first of all, you can't go against JP Morgan. You can't go against Morgan Stanley. You can't go against Chase. These guys, they know stuff that I don't know, so you're definitely going to be in good hands. A cool feature about this ETF is that 20% of it is invested in selling options. If you're not too diverse in the options market or whatever, hey, this is a good option for you. 20% of it is invested in options. 80% of it is going to be in stocks like Microsoft, Alphabet, DTE Energy, Target, Amazon, Lowe's, Deere and Company. You know, good solid companies that really aren't going nowhere. So that's the third one, JEPI. Let's move on to the fourth one. Fourth one is DHS, David Henry Sam. Now this is the Wisdom Tree High Dividend Fund. Little bit of information: has a dividend yield of 3.77, and it has assets under management of about 3 billion. Actually, I always do this. This one does not have 3 billion. This one has 900 million. Liquidity is pretty cool. Liquidity is going to be fine, and a nice dividend that you get paid on a monthly basis. What I like about this one, a lot of ETFs that you invest in are going to be pretty much cookie cutter. They're going to be the Microsoft, the Altrias, the Philip Morrises, the Kinder Morgans. It's going to be pretty similar. You're gonna notice a pattern throughout all ETFs that is pretty much the same thing. DHS, however, invest in companies like Pfizer, AbbVie, Verizon, AT&T, Coca-Cola, Broadcom. It invests in companies that have room to grow and aren't super overvalued, which is amazing in today's market. Some people believe that a lot of things are overvalued, so DHS could be like a nice little hedge against yourself if you do have high positions in Altria, Microsoft, Chevron. They're going to be pretty much cookie cutter. So DHS I kind of use as a hedge against myself, because it invests in companies that I personally believe are not overvalued, have good PE ratios, and have room to grow. And as all the other dividends, this one pays, not all of them, 3 of them pay monthly, 1 of them pays on a weekly basis, pays a monthly dividend, which is amazing and has been pretty consistent and increasing as well. 4 ETFs that I recommend. Guys, if you found this information useful, hit the subscribe button, and until next time, I'm out.